Bill, let me ask you this question. I have a friend here who works in the funeral home industry. In fact, he's a coroner, and he said normally whenever they have the kind of deaths that are being described in the media in New York and other places, typically a coroner in another state or a group of coroners will get a request to come and help. And my friend said this, not through this entire scenario have I or anybody else at our funeral home or any other funeral home in North Carolina that I'm aware of received such a request. And then in Pennsylvania last week, the coroners and funeral directors reduced the number of reported deaths by about 50% because they were not seeing the numbers that were being reported in the news match up with what they were seeing themselves. So my question to you is this. Understanding all of that and all the other confusion out there with the numbers, how would you advise our listeners to interpret the numbers that they're being pummeled with every day by the media?
Well, that's a great question, and I don't think anybody really has a handle on it. But what we have is an exaggeration of the numbers. When we were hearing back a month and a half ago when President Trump was being told by his in-house staff this could be 100 to 110, possibly up as high as 200,000 deaths in the next month and a half. And it didn't happen. We're hearing the numbers around 65, 70,000 deaths. We don't have that confirmed. That's through the Johns Hopkins, which also is very affiliated with the World Economic Forum, Davos, that group. And then the CDC, we're hearing numbers in that same range. So, it's one of those things that we really just don't have any actual facts. We'd almost have to come up and add them up ourselves and come up with our own conclusion how many actual deaths have happened. But that's very interesting content that you just shared.